Hi, and welcome to day 18 of the Lizzy Be Love show of the 30 days to my leap of faith. Today, I actually had a really good day. It started out pretty rough. I was feeling really sad this morning, just a lot of emotions coming up around just really judging myself over the situation, over moving, over feeling like it's all my fault, like I am a failure because I'm moving, like all of these untrue belief systems, all these untrue thoughts coming through. But really it's what has been hounding me, and kind of driving me crazy over the past week was this sense of just like, if I was just something better enough in whatever way, in every way, things would just be magically perfect and I would be able to have the most amazing job and the most amazing friends and everything would just be exactly the way that I think it should be. And that's just not helping me and not serving me. And it's just not true. Because if somebody else were to tell me that they were going through the situation, I would probably say, like, wow, like you were so not meant to be in that place. Like, obviously, like I even remember Doreen Virtue talking about and writing about the idea of if something's not for you and you do not remove yourself from the situation, the universe will remove it for you. So you will lose that job. You will break up with that person or they will break up with you or whatever it is. And that happened to me in a relationship, whatever is not for you, if you do not listen to your intuitive guidance, something is going to happen that will make it very obvious to you that you're not meant to be together. Now, it's not always so clear, and people who do break up and people who do lose a job, like it's not black and white, but there are those of us out there who have received the message of like, oh yeah, this is just not working. I need to break up with this person. Or yeah, this job is just driving me crazy and you're just not doing it. You're not listening to your guidance. You're hearing it, but you're not following it. That's a totally different story. And that's what the universe has been telling me about the Bay Area is that I literally have not been able to find a comfortable living space for 8 months. And there was a few places that I found because I was actually homeless between September and December 15th. I house sat for a few weeks during there, but I was pretty much bouncing from place to place. And luckily, I didn't really have to couch surf because I either rented places short term or stayed at friends' homes. And I was really lucky in a way to be able to do that with a friend of mine. And it was just like I would get places and like I would find an apartment and then last second it would fall through. And same thing with jobs. Like I had just been applying, and I would almost get something and then it would fall through. And it was just time and time and time again. And same with relationships. Like I would try to, befriend people and it would just like not go anywhere. So it was just kind of like, it took me a while to finally wake up to the fact that this was not my fault and that it was just something to pay attention to, not something to beat myself up with. And my coach had to point it out because I was just like so miserable when this last job that I really wanted didn't come through because I was like, well, I don't understand. Why is nothing working? And my coach even said to me, like, maybe you're just not meant to be in that area. Like, have you ever thought of moving? And the funny thing is that a year ago, when I was doing some really deep introspection and if anyone's familiar with 12th step, I was doing a 4th step inventory and I just kind of got the awareness of like, wow, I don't really love living here. Like it's okay, but I don't love it. And I've talked about this in previous videos of just like having an okay life, but really I want a really freaking amazing life. And a year ago, I realized I didn't really want to be here anymore. I was kind of over it. Like there was nothing here that was so exciting and so great that it was keeping me here other than just my ego telling me that I couldn't go someplace else. Like that just wouldn't make sense. Like there was nothing leading me in another direction that was good enough for me to follow. And so here I am a year later, realizing like, wow, I had that awareness a year ago. I don't know that I was meant to leave a year ago, But I definitely could have been thinking more about it than I was. And finally, I've allowed myself to leave, to move from this situation, this Bay Area that has just been crazy. It's like so not working at all. So finally, it's like I'm allowing myself to do this. So it's I'm having to shift my thoughts to realize that I'm actually not a failure because of it. I'm actually a success. I am successful because I'm following my heart, because I'm following that internal guidance that so many people ignore and end up miserable in whatever way that they are miserable. And I'm not happy living here. I'm not happy living in the Bay Area. And I haven't been for a while, and that's okay. And so if you are out there and you are not happy in your life in a certain way, that's okay. That's a part of life that happens. And it's important to tap into and listen to your guidance. Like, what is it telling you? Is it telling you to kind of stick it out for a little while longer? Is it telling you to, look for a different job? Is it telling you to go into business for yourself? Like, most people know what it is that they want to do. They just don't allow themselves to do it. And I am finally getting to the point where I'm allowing myself to do it. And I have no qualms about it. And I'm at the point where I actually had a friend who I haven't really spoken to in probably like 9 months or so, just kind of popped back into my life. And she's going through a very similar thing. And she's super supportive. And she's like, that's amazing. You're following your heart. That's like, she's doing the same thing. So it was kind of like, as soon as I start shifting into believing in myself and listening to my inner guidance, other people are showing up that are also supporting me in the same way. And that's so important. If you are doing something that requires a leap of faith, surround yourself with people, with situations, with books, with movies that are supportive of you. It is so fragile. Dreams can be very fragile. Our egos really can be very fragile when it comes to our dreams. And so if you're around and talking to people that are not supportive or just don't get it and keep questioning you, you don't need to be around those people because they don't get it. And they're not helpful. They're not helping you follow your dreams. Like people who are like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's so inspiring. I really want to do that too. People who understand what you're doing, because this is not the norm. This is not the way our country, our world necessarily operates. And that's okay. Things are changing. And that's why a lot of people in the world are miserable. That's why a lot of people in this country are miserable. I guarantee you it's a huge reason why there's an epidemic of obesity, of diabetes, of chronic illness, because of this very thing that people are just not happy. And so that kind of leads me into the topic for today, because I went to this lecture earlier and it was talking about how people, because I, study the treatment of eating disorders, how people use food behaviors, whether it's too much food, too little food, whatever, just anxiety around food, they use that to meet their need for joy, for happiness, for comfort, for connection, for whatever it is that they're not getting in their day-to-day life in the outside world. We use food to meet that need. And it's a part of recovering from that, a part of learning how not to do that. And you can, people use alcohol, people use drugs, people use, I was about to say food again, gambling, people use sex, people use relationships, socializing. You can be an over socializer. Anything you do compulsively to avoid your feelings and avoid reality, it is bordering, compulsive, addictive behavior. You may not be addicted to other people, but you are compulsive in that you are ignoring how you feel and how you think, and that it can lead to serious issues, So that's really what I was really realizing today, was that in this leap of faith that I'm doing, I've learned to not be in all the stuff that I've had to process. The reason I went through this crazy week of just like total breakdown last week was because I'm no longer avoiding my issues. I'm no longer avoiding those emotions. I'm no longer avoiding those fearful thoughts by, restricting, starving myself, by overeating, by over-exercising, by spending all my time with other people, by being, an overachiever, by being a workaholic, by drinking, by doing drugs. Like I used to do all those kinds of things when I was younger, But now I don't do that anymore. And so, of course, I'm left with my thoughts and my fears and all of that. And so that's a part of this process, because now that I've processed through it, I'm more excited than ever. And I'm getting more signs from the universe than ever. Like this morning, I was talking about it to my coach. Like, how amazing is that I have a coach to talk to help me process this, because I'm actually processing it. I'm not just ignoring it and shelving it and acting like, oh, I can get to that later. No, I can't get to that later, because it's going to keep me from being who I need to be in order to follow my dreams. Because if I listen to my fears, I will go crazy, you know? And then on the way to the lecture I was going to this morning, I heard, that song Dreams by the Cranberries. I heard I think her name's Natasha Bedingfield, the singer, who has that song that's like, talking about writing your life. Like, the pen is in your hand, only you can write it out. The rest is still unwritten. You need to go and feel the raindrops. And just really, like, I'm even getting chills, thinking about it, because it was such a powerful confirmation from the universe that as I open up and trust the universe, I have confirmation that I can trust the universe and that I'm doing the right thing. And the only way that I am able to get that confirmation is to trust, and is to move forward, and is to talk about it, is to open up those scary places within me that are so fearful that they'll give me a week of insanity, so fearful that I have trouble sleeping, so fearful that I wasn't really eating, I wasn't drinking water. Like, I mean, I was eating, but just like not as much as normal. Like today, I've been hungry all day. It's so funny just how hungry I've been today, because I was eating maybe like a meal and a half, 2 meals, because I was just so anxious, so nervous, and wasn't drinking a lot of water. I was drinking a lot of caffeine. I was doing the best I could, but that's what happens if you don't deal with your stuff, So I dealt with my stuff. And my question for you is, where are you avoiding your stuff? How are you avoiding your stuff? Like I said, when I was younger, I used to just like focus on school and sports and be busy, busy, busy. That's how I got my name. I even 4 years ago, I was still busy, busy, busy. And my friend at the time told me, she's like, you're such a little busy bee, Lizzy bee, a busy Lizzy bee. And so I've had to learn to not do that, to not keep myself just so crazy busy that I can't think. And maybe it's, and then when I was younger, I used to do drugs. I used to do all kinds of things, like anything, watch TV, eat, not eat, whatever it was, to avoid thinking and feeling. And so I'm sure that there's behaviors that you do. I mean, we're human. That's what humans do to a certain extent. But it's like learning about lessening those behaviors and getting support for that. I mean, that's why I have a coach. That's why I go to therapy. That's why I go to 12-step groups. I'm not just trying to do this on my own. I'm actually like getting the help and connecting with people. And I've had sponsors, and I have sponsees and stuff like that to really help with my recovery, with my tapping into my feelings and sorting through that stuff. It's tough territory. But it has to be done in order to get to your truth, in order to get to how you really feel, and in order to get to trust yourself enough to follow that guidance. You have to follow the guidance to accomplish your dreams. And in order to follow the guidance, you have to sort through your fears and your doubts, or they will keep manifesting in your life. That's what I kept experiencing. And it's not always easy. It can be easier sometimes than others, and it's not always easy. If you watch all these videos, you see it's not easy, but I'm still doing it. I'm still showing up every day. I'm still working through it. I'm still paying attention. I'm still working with my coach, still going to therapy, still doing these videos, I'm really doing the process. I'm still moving. I didn't freak out and cancel my plans. I'm actually, like, I took clothes to go sell today. I made plans to hopefully have my brother come up and help me move. And I'm doing the things I need to do, to like prepare myself to go. And I'm really excited. And I think I'm going to actually make a vision board, like I have to put more on my plate here, but I want to make a vision board of like how I want to feel, not just in San Diego, because it's not really just about San Diego. It's just like wherever my joy is, I need to follow that. Just like Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss. I mean, that man knew what he was talking about. And it's not always going to be the same thing at the same place with the same people. It's going to be different for everybody at different times. You know, one time it was leaving San Diego and now it's going back there. And I can't question it. My head can't get in the way. I need to really tap into and listen to my heart. So I'm really grateful for these videos, and I'm grateful for some feedback that I'm getting from people around them. So I love you so much out there. And I really hope that, you know, you're getting something out of this, because I know I am. And I love you all, and I'm sending many angel blessings, and take care of yourself. And yeah, just really try not to judge yourself or be critical around the way that you avoid your feelings. Because trust me, everybody does it. But you got to be aware of what's going on in order to heal it and change it. And there is help for you. There's support out there for you. If you need to, contact me. The information is down below in the description of all the videos. So I'm sending you many, many blessings and angel hugs, and I will see you tomorrow.